Idris Ahmed, hi. You see this container? These are the ashes of my child who will have turned 8 months this month. Together with these ashes are 867 candles, the wax of the 867 candles that I have lit a candle each day since I lost this child. And I also lit many candles during the week. All the ashes are here in this container. This container, that is a temporary graveyard for my child, is next to my bed and has been there. The worst day of my life was the day I carried this baby to the crematorium, and the following day when I came back to pick the ashes. This remains to be the heaviest thing that I carry. It weighs about 2 kgs, thereabouts, I'm not sure. But it's the heaviest thing I carry. This will have been my second baby. I lost this baby at 31 weeks. That said, I have lived through the scariest days of my life. And do you know how I lost this child? Well, let me tell you. You remember that time you were going around with my lawyer? You remember that time you were also actively working behind the scenes with this guy called James Muturi, your proxy, the one who was trying to broker the business deal between us. You remember that guy? You know him, eh? This guy, James Muturi, of phone number 0721 30 87 33. You remember that time I was going around with him? Yeah? You remember that time when there were endless phone calls about the deal on my books? You remember that time when you sent him to me to say that out of the 31 million that I was supposed to be paid, your people wanted 20 million. And I refused. And I told them that's not how we do business. You remember the second time you sent him to me? Okay? The second time you sent him to me, you told him to give my books to your company so that once the money is paid, he will take the money and give me the remaining balance. And we refused. You remember the third time when I was desperate and my house was being auctioned and everything was being auctioned, and I looked for him. And I told him, I am okay. At this point, we can settle this matter. And I told him, I can give you all these books, but all I need from you is an agreement between me and your company that I've handed you over the goods. And he refused and left. And the last time I saw James Muturi, Elias Mwangi, is the last time when you and your team sent him to me and told him that you are willing to work with me, pay my money for a 50 stake in my company. You remember that time? And then after that, when I said I cannot give you my company because I built this company and Red Cross is not the only organization I serve, you remember that time? That is the time Idris Ahmed, for work that was done and completed in November of 2022, you issued a tender cancellation. You gave instructions to Elizabeth Osodo, who works under your instructions as the Secretary General, to give an official cancellation of the tender on 10th July of 2023. I have read your statement, the one Kenya Red Cross has sent online. But in addition to that statement, I also want you to also inform members of the public of the working arrangement between Kenya Red Cross and myself and peer publishers. I also want you to inform the public that you have always held power, that the 6 LPOs before this one were signed by you. I also want you to let the members of the public know that in November 2022, I did not go looking for work in Kenya Red Cross, that Kenya Red Cross came looking for me in November 2022. I did legitimate work. Those who know me know I don't do deals. And I remember telling you people clearly, I don't do deals with my company because I got this, the first investor in my company was my grandmother who sold her land and gave me an investment. Idris Ahmed. Because you people had seen me in some type of a way, you wanted to steal from me. You wanted to take my company. You took advantage of a transition period between the former Secretary General and yourself to create shambolic systems that gave you all the power that you needed to abuse people. Tell members of the public many things that I'm about to say. Idris Ahmed. And while at it, let me understand why, when we are looking to resolve this matter, why I was being given hotel numbers to go to. Well, you have said I am a blackmailer. This is the time for blackmail. This is the time to say the truth. One thing I have realized is this, Idris Ahmed. You are going to use your power to abuse me. You've done that for the last 2 years. I have lost everything. But what I'm not going to do is to be silent as you abuse me. I will, if saying my story is the last thing I say, Idris Ahmed, I will say my story from the beginning to the end of it. Deal with it, Idris Ahmed. We have just started, like I said. You have opened a conundrum that you will not be able to save yourself from. And if my allegations are illegitimate, why are you not giving up this matter to a body higher than yourself? How about IFRC or ISRC? I don't know who you answer to as Kenya Red Cross to look into this matter. Idris Ahmed, you are using people in government who stand in the place of Global Fund, who you do business with, to continue using your power to intimidate me, to hide behind systems. I want you to come to me, man to man, you and the governor and the senior management of these people that I have kept calling their names. Edwin Okuta, Susan Mwihaki, Cynthia Njagi, George Muya, Mwanaheri Ahmed, Aisha Mazrui, Annette Msambeni. I want all of you to stop hiding behind Kenya Red Cross. You have been involved with me as an individual, soliciting money from me, soliciting payments and kickbacks from me so that you can pay that tender. You saying that it's a cancelled tender, of course, yes, it's cancelled, and you cancelled it on 10th July of 2023. How many months later? 8 months later. Who cancels a tender 8 months later? And now that you are saying that it was communicated to bidders, I want to see the official communication that Kenya Red Cross sent that this tender has been cancelled in November of 2022 as per your procurement policy. And I have your procurement policy, by the way. So you are not going to hide behind lies to cover up one lie after the other. Idris Ahmed, siku ya nyani kufa, miti yote uteleza. This is your time. I'm not